All right, guys, welcome back to episode 25 of the League 365 podcast. I am your host, Fergo, joined every week by Jax. We are powered by the good guys from BearBet. Let me bring Jax in. How are you, brother?
Yeah, good,
Yeah,
good. How you
yeah.
going?
Good week?
Yeah, so far so good.
Yep, very good. All right, mate, let's get straight into the socials, mate. Do you want to handle the socials and let the guys know what we need them doing?
Yeah, jump on YouTube, like and subscribe. The content we're putting out really helps us out big time. Also, Instagram, TikTok, League365. If you can jump on there and give us a follow, they help the boys out.
Very good. All right, guys, straight into the tipping comp this week. We had two weekly winners this week, which we weren't really banking on. But the good guys from BearBet have told me we can give away two prizes. So to the Irk, which I think is Rachel Urquhart, I think it is, and also Daniel Strider. You guys are the weekly winners. You both tipped 7, so well done, guys, and got the exact same marshal. Rachel, we need you to reach out to the show for us. We don't have your details, so just drop a message. What can Rachel do to get a hold of us? Jax?
Instagram or YouTube comments.
And they just
Send us a DM
or a
on
DM or
Instagram.
anything. Rachel, get in touch. We've got a little prize for you. Daniel, I'll get your prize out to you as well. Let's quickly look at the leaderboard. Tadpole is still leading on 49. That is Paula. We have Chris King Dewey on 48, equal with Can I See Your Tips on 48, but he is the leader. Can I See Your Tips? Because he still has a joker in hand, which is Benny from Bradbury. Now, just quickly before we go to the NRL news, me and Jax were honoured to be taken by Josh Schuster to the Sunday night game at CommBank. He set us up in a suite up there, and we ran into a lovely family. And I just want to shout out to the young Manly fans, the little boys. It was Raf and Ollie. Guys, I hope you're tuning in. We love meeting you. Make sure you follow Josh's journey. Tune in to us every week, subscribe to us stuff. But guys, it was an honour to meet you, and I hope you had the time of your life out there with the free giveaway that Josh had done for you guys. So that was awesome, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, the suite was unreal, and getting the family of Manly fans in there to watch the game from the suite was unreal as well.
Yeah,
It
all
came all
right,
the way
guys.
from the Central Coast.
All right, so I hope you've tuned in, guys. All right, NRL news: Jack's Tigers injuries. Let's start there. There's some massive issues. They've lost Dewey with a dislocated shoulder that popped back in supposedly, so it doesn't need surgery. They've lost Sione Fainu for 3 months.
Samuela.
Samwella, sorry, Sione's replaced him this week. Samwella, and they've lost him for 3 months.
Yeah,
It's a big loss.
Big loss, yeah.
Yeah, on top of what they've already copped, you know. So they've just got to hang tight, don't they, the Tigers?
Yeah, just got to weather this storm a bit. It's unfortunate that they've copped some injuries to some key guys, but they need to try and find some wins still because they don't want to get too far away. They've worked so hard to start the season well. It'd be a shame to see them drop off. It's time for Luai to stand up. This is why he gets paid the big bucks for times like this. So
Yeah, well, it's a real acid test. I noticed that they've gone with Jock Madden. I saw Latu Fainu's on the bench. But they did make the change at fullback. I did notice they've moved to Riverback to the win, brought Heath Mason in. So just a little subtle change there. But geez, they've just got to hang tough.
yeah, definitely. They just got to try and weather the storm a bit.
Yep. The other thing I want to talk to you about with the NRL news that's been in the media this week is the high scoring games. What do you make of the high scoring games? I actually saw an interview with you and Chad actually, and he asked you about it, and it was pretty dominant with what you said.
Yeah, I like the amount of high scoring games. I'm not a fan of. I don't mind the odd one, like here and there, but I think the best game of the round last week was that Manly Penrith game. It was 18-16, low scoring. I think the six agains and all that is dictating, the score lines. But me personally, I don't like. I don't mind it one around maybe, but not 4 or 5 around. I think that's too many.
Yeah, I don't like them at all, to be honest. That game, for mine, that Penrith Manly game was the best game of the weekend by far, in my opinion. Now, what we're going to do now, guys, you had nothing more on that? No. Okay, let's move on to we've just come up with a little segment before we get into our review and preview of the games. I wanted us, Jax, to rank our top 5 sides as we see it right now going into, and I don't mean just it's the top 5 sides in order, just what you've seen, who you think the best 5 sides are, and what we'll do these together. We'll start at 1, who we both have at 1. Who have you got?
I've got the Panthers. I think they've been obviously the best side so far this year. They dominated the first 6 rounds. They've come back to the field a little bit the last month, but they're still the best side for mine comfortably. I think Nathan's in great form. Isaiah Yo, the whole side, they're just classes above everyone else right now, I think. Still,
Yep.
defensively, they're a machine.
Yeah, I agree. I would have been horrified if you didn't say Penrith. I think everyone would say Penrith at the moment. Um, Even though they scraped home on Sunday night, I still thought it was a reasonably good performance because I thought the other mob were great. So I think they're definitely the top of the pick. All right, let's go to number 2. Who have you got at number 2?
I got Roosters at number 2 at the moment. I like their performance on the weekend against Brisbane. I thought they really bullied them in that first 40, and the Hugo Savala no try, he should have finished that before you know it. It could have been 34-36 nil, and the Roosters probably could have really went on with it. I think they're getting their combinations right with DC and Walker. I think the last month they've improved big time, and their forward pack is just it's just enormous. They seem to really roll through the middle of the sides they've played recently, and I think that they're only going to build on their combinations. They copped a few injuries last week, but apart from that, they've been injury free as well, which helps.
Yeah, okay. The side I've got second, Jacks, is actually a side that's outside the 8 at the moment. It's Brisbane Broncos. I think they've hung on quite well. I thought they've performed really good, even though they've lost a few close ones, but they've had so many injuries. And I just watched them the other night, and I just thought when they get these big guns back, they're going to be a thorn in everyone's side. And to me, at the moment, they are the second best team at the moment. Yeah, I didn't have him. I think I had him a fair way down in my 8 this year. I think 6th. I think I might have popped them, and my mind's totally changed with Brisbane. I think when these blokes get back, you'll see the real Brisbane stand up. So one thing I will say about them, geez, when Adam Reynolds went off the other night and Reece Walsh was pushed into that playmaker kind of role, the side looks better. So somehow, like Adam Reynolds walks back into the side, but somehow they need to work out a way where when they're in good ball position, Reece Walsh needs to be taken over. But I've got Brisbane at 2. Let's go to 3. Who have you got at 3?
Yeah, I got Brisbane at 3. I think you touched on it then. They've been really good. They've copped some injuries to key blokes, Carrigan, Haas, Walsh. And I think once they get their full strength side back, they're going to be a force to reckon with. Walsh is outstanding. He showed his class on Saturday night against the Roosters. He single-handedly nearly wrestled the momentum back and got the win for him. They're a powerhouse of this competition for sure.
Yep. All right. At 3, I have the Roosters. Probably surprised a few in the way that I haven't got them at 2. But the only reason I haven't got them at 2 is I just want to see when they play Penrith or Brisbane full strength. I still, the only thing that concerns me with them is that Tedesco seems to be the man, and I feel like when you've got that one man that's creating so much danger and trouble for oppositions, I think if he gets shut down, I'm worried that they might struggle to find points outside of him. And when I say points, the other blokes are creating tries and stuff, but Tedesco's getting him into the position. Just with, well, what do you make of Tedesco? Is he career best form again?
No, I think last year he was going to be better, but fuck, he's going good again.
He's just unbelievable.
Such a good player.
He's a freak. But I have the Roosters at 3. So let's go to 4 now, and possibly will be the same here, but we'll see.
I got the Wars at 4. The Warriors, I think they've started the year really well. They dominate through the middle with Fisher Harris and Jackson Ford, who's in career best form. Young, damaging, young forwards with like Halasima, Valmaga, Laban, and I like the changes they've made in the backs. I think bringing Tane Tuapiki and Lockie Camperera in helps. It gives them speed, which they haven't had, and I think they're a really good football side and a definite possible top 4 side this year if they continue. I like the Warriors.
Yeah, I'm the same. I've got the Warriors at 4. I will say, though, my top 3 really stood out when I did this. I looked at it and had no issue coming up. It was the order. I had Penrith at 1. I was tossing up Brisbane and Roosters. But then I felt a gap. These other sides, for me, didn't come into the calculation top 3. But Warriors were clear 4th. I didn't have any issue putting them at 4. And it was for what you said. I think that they're a young side. I still think there was a bit of work to do, and I still are concerned that this was happening. Was it last year that they were flying and they fell away at the end? That worries me a little bit. The half situation worries me a little bit too, and how they actually come up with their side when Nickel Clockstead comes back. I hope they don't touch too much, to be honest, because I think the way they've got it, Tane Tuapiki at the back, Lockie on the wing, to me, that they're the clear fourth best side at the moment.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yep. All right, so let's go to 5.
Yeah, this one was tough. I was tossing up a few sides. And I lent towards, surprisingly probably to some, I lent towards the North Queensland Cowboys. I know they started the year really poorly, but they've turned their form around the last month and a bit on the back of Jason Tamalolo finding form again. Scott Drinkwater's been outstanding, Dearden, and good young centres, Jackson Purdue, Tom Chester, they've been really good. I know they copped an injury to Jeremiah Nene this week, which doesn't help, but I think they're a decent football side that's going to push finals. I think for sure if they keep this form, they've got some class players in that roster, and if they get it together, I think they're a top 8 side. Sorry,
Yeah.
Honourable mention South Sydney. They were nearly there. Just defensively, I couldn't have them.
Yeah, okay. All right, I was the same. Fifth. I had about 5 sides. And then I added Manly. I added Manly because just the way they've gone the last month since Foreign's come over. And when I looked at, I had 4 or 5 sides. I had the West Tigers in there, but with these injury concerns, I'm really worried about them now, and how much damage will be done in this period. So I've thrown Manly into 5th. Chopped and changed, and that performance on Sunday night did it for me, put them into 5th. I thought that was their acid test, and I thought they came through with flying colours. With Joey Walsh also going into that side, and I know he's out this week, but if he gets time in there, if they lose one of the halves, they've got a ready-made replacement. The kid was great the other night. But again, I had a bracket of 5 or 6 sides there. I had South, I thought of the Tigers, I thought of the Sharks, I thought of the Dolphins. But I've come to Manly because I think they're in the best form at the moment. And listening to their players talk about Foreign, I don't think it's going to end. I think they're going to be up every week, this mob. And when Tom comes back, I think it makes them better. So I went with Manly at 5th. So, yeah, jump on and challenge us, guys, about them. But it's not easy.
No, it isn't.
It's not easy. All right, guys. What we're going to do now, we're going to get into the preview, the review of round 9, and it started on Friday night. It was the Bulldogs going down 28-12 to the North Queensland Cowboys, and the alarm bells are ringing right through Belmore as loud as they possibly can in my book.
Yeah, this was a disappointing performance for Canterbury. I thought they would have looked at this game and thought, this is where we can get a win and catapult some momentum. But their attack, again, just terrible. The club and decisions that have been made with Gould and Sorrello over the last 12 months, they need to really own up and take some responsibility because from what I've seen, they've fucked this side royally with some of the changes they made. This football side was flying 12 months ago. They were a side that was on that their DNA was hard work, defence, grind wins, and that side's gone. I don't want to bag Lockie Galvin too much because I thought he's been okay this year, but his move there to 7 hasn't worked, and neither is Bailey Hayward to 9. He got outshone on Friday night to Reid Marnie, who left the club, and they're a football side that's lost their identity, and I don't know where they're going, but it ain't up.
Yeah. It is one side we got right at the start of the year. We were massively concerned with Bailey Hayward to 9. It is a disaster. It's a train wreck, him at 9.
Yeah.
Even when they moved him back to 13, they look better. I looked at the team list this week, Jax. How Jamin Salmon's in the side is completely beyond me. The Tom Chester try, guys, if you haven't seen it, go and have a look at it. The effort of Jamin Salmon should have had him in reserve grade off one effort. It was diabolical. I don't know where they go. We said at the start of the year we would have Crichton at 1. The talk has started.
Yeah.
During the NRL 360 talked about it, about moving him to 1 or 6. I think 1's the place to put him. But they're just not. They refuse to pull the trigger, and they're not changing anything. Like I looked at their lineup this week. It's the same. Like it's just a broken record. So I don't know where they go. To be honest, Cowboys good. Like the Bulldogs come at them. They try to rough them up a little bit, but the Cowboys just too many points for mine.
Yeah.
Chester, Purdue, Chester, it's impressing me every week I see him, Chester. And Jake Clifford, career best form for Jake Clifford.
Yeah.
And Jason Tamalolo, just quickly on him, he has turned back the clock.
Yeah,
He is
definitely.
going fantastic. So Cowboys pretty dominant, especially the last 25 minutes.
Yeah, and this is a game normally they could have lost after coming off a good performance the week before at home, coming down cold. Cold Sydney weather game, but they got the win. They were good enough. And just quickly, whoever hired Adam O'Brien to be attacking coach at Canterbury, he's just got to have some question marks as well. He coached Newcastle to the spoon last year. He's gone there, and I think they're the worst attacking side in the competition.
I don't think there's any doubt. Well, them or the Red V, I suppose.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
they don't count. But
Yeah, okay. All right, let's move on to the second game, and it was the Dolphins giving it to Melbourne. So if the alarm bells are ringing in Belmore, well, they're ringing down in the heart of Victoria massively as well. Like, they are in a world of trouble.
yeah, there's no alarm bells. Alarm bells are done. Just put them in the coffin. Their season for 2026 is done, buried. They're no chance of making the top eight. I thought they started the game really well. They came out, they got to a 10-point lead. I thought, oh, maybe this is it. Maybe they're going to get a win here. But second half, the Dolphins turned it on and 28 unanswered points. And Melbourne are in a serious trouble. I think their season's already over at round 10.
Yep.
I don't like anything I'm seeing from them.
Yeah, agreed. The Dolphins, they've shown some really good form the last 2 weeks. They lost last week to the Warriors, but they were good, and they were good again. Probably a little bit slow to start, but when they clicked into gear in that second half and they got on the back of Herbie, they showed that they're a serious footy side with the ball in hand. As Jax always says about their defence, it's still a worry, their defence, but their attack is when it's on, the weapons they have in that back line, they can worry a lot of sides, in my opinion, in this comp. But defensively, I think they are lacking something, so they've got to fix that up. But again, look, the Storm do get a few back this week. We will touch on that when we preview the game, but I don't know what else to say about this game. I just thought the Dolphins, when they decided to turn it on, they were just too good.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, let's move on to the next game, and it was a side I was very keen on in this game was Canberra 28-12 over a Titans side where I just don't know what to say about them anymore. Like, you look at their roster, won't look at their roster, look at certain players in the side, and you think, geez, I'd like him at my club. Geez, I'd like him at my club. I'm talking Jaden Campbell, I'm talking Tino, I'm talking AJ Brimson, but it just doesn't work. And this game, to me, had Ricky Stewart ambush written all over it. And they just went up there and got it done. And I felt like they got it done reasonably comfortably, to be honest.
Yeah, I thought this was a game the Gold Coast could have won. Canberra had a decent amount out, and then Strange gets ruled out as well. I thought up there, they were a massive chance here, but they're never really in the game. Canberra controlled the game from the kickoff, and they're just a better football side, better coach, better players, better system. Gold Coast, I don't know where they go from here. They're going to finish bottom four again. I think, that's it really on them.
Yeah. Just a quick one on this. Simi Sasangi, rough chance for Origin with the six-man bench?
Yeah, probably he's in the conversation for a six-man bench. He's been outstanding this year. He's one of my favourite players to watch in 2026. He can play back row, centre, six.
Yeah, huge advantage.
Yeah.
Like, when you're looking for a bench spot, that he's so adaptable.
Yeah, his versatility could get him that.
It won't surprise me. All right, let's move now on to the next game, and it was the Parramatta Eels going down to the New Zealand Warriors 36-14. I felt the Eels started okay, but the class of the Warriors and the size of the Warriors just really overpowered them in the end.
Yeah, the Eels are struggling. They're injury riddled. Another side that's injury riddled, and they're just not. The players they're bringing in probably aren't up to NRL standards, especially to compete with a top four side in the Warriors. Too big, too strong. They're middles. I didn't think when I'm looking at the game, the team list before the game, I thought blokes like Charlie Geimer, Jack Williams, they're just not going to be able to hold their own against that Warriors pack, which is brutal, really.
Yeah, geez, they're strong on the edges and through the middle, aren't they? They're forwards.
100%.
Geez, some of their edge back rowers, and then you've got Aaron Clark and that coming through the middle as well. And Egan's subtleties around the ruck are as good as any nine in the comp.
Yeah.
So, Parramatta, Mitch Moses' form's not great. I think I give him a pass just because what's lacking in front of him. They're basically like Junior Paulo. They don't have another front rower.
No,
They're all back
undersized.
rowers that are playing front row. Your Jack Williams and these kind of blokes. They're playing front row, and they're just not front rowers. So I feel for Mitch a little bit, but I still feel his form's a little bit down.
Yeah, I agree, but it's hard to shine when you're in a losing side, and they're getting beat comfortably, really, for mine.
Yeah, they were dominated the other night.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the next one, which was a reasonably high scoring affair, which was a topsy turvy game. It was the Roosters 38 beating Brisbane 24. It looked like it was going to be 50 at half time, but to the Brisbane's credit, lacking a couple of front rowers, including the best front rower in the game, they bit down on the mouth guard and they come back strong. And barring the Katoni Stags incident, that was just a complete brain explosion, they were coming to get the Roosters. In my opinion, I don't think they would have beaten them, but geez, they were coming hard at you.
Yeah, they definitely they wriggled back the momentum. The drop ball from Cody Ramsey when Brisbane was struggling to get out of their end. That drop shifted the momentum. Brisbane went down and scored. But I thought Roosters were really good first half. They bullied that understrength Brisbane forward pack, too powerful, led with Collins and Nafahu through the middle. I think if Hugo Savala scores not long after half-time, it makes it 34-36-0. I think it really could have got ugly, but credit to Brisbane on the back of Walsh, wriggled their way back into the game, and I thought they were coming for Roosters. I thought the game was there for the taking until Katoni Staggs, obviously brain explosion.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was a sin bin, coming forceful with an elbow on the back of someone's head when the tackle's complete. It's pretty.
Well, he got 2 weeks, so to
rough.
me it's a sin bin.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm with you. It's just ridiculous.
But on the back of that as well, I think Victor Radley was very lucky not to go to the bin for his attempted tackle on Pat Carrigan in the first half. So that's how it goes sometimes. But
he's probably been dealt the rough straw in the past, Victor.
Yeah,
he's probably due to get one go his way.
Yeah, no, you're probably right.
Yeah.
Tedesco and Nafahu wide again, outstanding. I thought DCE was good also. A couple of injury concerns, Lindsay and Mark Nwanganitawasi, but good to see Cody Ramsey come out and play a bit of footy after I think it was nearly 1,900 days on the sideline with his illness. So good story, Cody Ramsey. Never gave up, and he finds his way back in first grade, which is good to see.
Great, the emotion he showed in them interviews.
He was nearly crying after the game.
Well, he should be.
Yeah.
But good on the kid. Really well done. I thought Brisbane were really good. As I said earlier, I think they were really good. They got a lot out, and I think they're really holding their gloves up. So, really good performance. It was a good game. But just shows you, though, you're never safe.
No, not anymore.
30 points, and you're still not safe. 15 years ago, if you led 14-0, you were nearly home.
Yeah.
Now, seriously, 30's not even enough. It's getting
right.
a bit ridiculous. So, but anyway, let's move on to the Sunday game up at McDonald Jones Stadium. And it was really a desperate Newcastle Knights, somehow in the end, getting the win 42-38 in a game of touch footy up there. What did you make of this one, Joe?
Yeah, I thought it was getting a nearly must-win for Newcastle if they wanted to stay in touch with that 8 after they've got plenty of injuries to really key players. They got Kalen back this week. He was really good. And I thought this was a game that they needed to win against South Sydney. As he said, topsy-turvy game. Newcastle led. Got a big lead early and South wriggled it back with some Latrell Mitchell brilliance at the end, scoring in the corner. Nailed it from the sideline. I thought, South will hold on here. Next set, they make an error and Dylan Brown puts Trey Mooney through for the win. It was one of those games either side could have won. But in the end, Newcastle got the win.
Yep.
Yeah.
Two things I want to talk to you about just quickly on this game. Latrell, he's just in animal mode at the moment when he wants to be. He's still dropping in and out of games, but wow, when he wants to do something, he's like unstoppable at the moment.
I think it's just shown. I think his best position has always been centre. Good luck one-on-one trying to stop Latrell. Kalen Pong is not a small man. He's probably close to 95, 100 kilos. He threw everything at him.
He hit him with everything.
And Latrell still bumped him off. Latrell is humongous. It's like a prop forward out there playing centre. It's ludicrous.
They can run.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
He's a freak. That was the one thing. The second thing is now it's only a really small sample size, so don't take this the wrong way. But Dylan Brown wearing the 7, he was... At Para, he was really, they just said he's not a 7. He's showing me signs that he is a 7. And as I said, it's only a small sample size, but even before he got hurt, and then that game, he's showing really good game management, Dylan Brown, at the moment.
Yeah, I thought his games for Newcastle have been really good so far this season. A lot of expectations, a lot of pressure on him with that pay packet, but he's playing good footy at the moment.
Yeah, you know what? It all turned around in the New Zealand games after the season last year.
Yeah,
his
that's
form
right.
in that
Yeah,
was
yeah.
his form all year was poor.
Yeah.
He hit that and he hasn't looked back.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I agree.
So shout out to Dylan. He's going great, and the people that bagged him that he's not a 7. Again, I'm not saying it's fait accompli. He's a 7, but geez, the signs are good that he's going to handle the 7. So all right, let's move on to the next game, which we won't spend too much time on because again, it was just the West Tigers copying injuries. The Sharks 52 beating the Tigers 10. It's probably not what, in my opinion, what either side wanted, Jax. I think the Sharks need a big scout to give him some confidence and maybe in a real battle where this was just a training gallop for him. And the Tigers, I think you just forget the Tigers went round. Considering the injuries they had going into the game, they lost Dewey after about 10 minutes. They lost Samuela later in the game. But honestly, this was a nothing game to me.
Yeah, I agree. Tigers were limping into this game to start with some key injuries, Buller, Appy, and then to lose Dewey and Samuela in the game. This was like Cronulla should have put Tigers away, which they did. But I don't look into it either way. You know, Sharks did what they needed to do. Anything other than this performance would have been a bit disappointing for them. And Tigers, sorry, I wouldn't take too much away from this game.
No.
But they need to weather the storm, as we said, in the next few weeks and
Yep.
not take too many losses. And Cronulla need to back this performance up, especially next week with a top 8 side in South. You need to see a backed up performance.
Yeah, the only thing I took out of the game, to be honest, was I just saw a bit of an attitude change. It felt like they were there to get just, I don't know, they just looked a different team in the way attitude-wise. Apart from that, I really saw nothing different.
Yeah.
I think they played the same as they did against the Cowboys and the Roosters, to be honest. And it was just the opposition.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's move on to the game we were at, as we mentioned earlier in the show. It was the Panthers 18 beating Manly 16. I thought it was a cracking game of footy. I thought it was the best game of the weekend by far. And I thought both teams were really good. And I loved it, Jax. I loved it.
Yeah, this was a good game. Manly came out of the blocks strong early, got the first try, which I think you need to do against Penrith. If Penrith get a lead, a 12, 18-point lead against you, like, good luck. They normally go on with it and put a big score. But they got the first try. And, this was a really good game. The Joey Walsh no-look pass to Hamoli was as good as a pass you'll ever see.
Yep.
For mine. Panthers were good as well. You know, Nathan was really good. I thought he controlled the game really well.
I thought Blaze Talangi
I was just going to say, Blaze Talangi attackingly was causing issues.
Yeah.
But yeah, Manly got a try that probably was no try with the obstruction and the forward pass. So I think the scoreline flattered them.
Yeah.
This was a great game for a neutral fan.
Yeah, I thought a few things come out of this game for me. I thought it was Manly's acid test, and I thought they passed it with flying colours. It was the last 4 games they hadn't beaten anyone great. I'll put it that way. And this was the acid test, and even though they lost, I thought they hit the mark they needed to hit.
Yeah.
I just thought there was a few things that happened in the game that were turning points. I thought the first Penrith try coming off a 6 again on the last tackle, which I didn't see any different to the previous 4 tackles. So I thought that was bewildering, and they scored off the back of that. The forward pass, it was a mile forward, the Manly one, as you mentioned, a mile forward. Joey Walsh.
As well.
Hey? And there was an obstruction as well. Joey Walsh's performance, the pass he threw, you're right, he actually threw one earlier in the game as well to Ruben Garrick, who nearly went through and someone just grabbed, and it was a similar pass. You can tell he's a rugby project. Like he's just got that vision and that passing game that you can tell he's come from rugby.
Yeah.
Mate, he could develop in a really good half down the track, and I don't know if he'll stay at Manly just because they've signed Jamal for 3 years. I don't think, just watching what I saw the other night, I don't think he's a 6. I think he's a 7. So I don't know what the plan is, but to me, he showed enough in that game that he could be a real good player down the track.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, Penrith were just Penrith of old. They just did it, got the job done, and
They know how to grind these close wins out.
They do. They just seem to find a way, don't they? So
Yeah.
I was feeling Manly were going to get them in the back end, and that's what I wanted to talk about. The 10-minute period, I thought they handled terribly, Manly, when Cogger went to the bin. I thought they handled it terribly, not using Hamoli and Jason Saab's side. They just kept going back to the left to Ben Trebojevic in the centres, which I thought was a head scratcher.
Yeah.
Yes. But apart from that, I thought both teams were really good. So, all right, let's move on to the preview of round 10 of the NRL Premiership, and it starts on Thursday night, and it is the Dolphins playing the Bulldogs, who are absolutely desperate. Me looking at this game, Jax, I think it's a Dolphins win. I cannot see the Bulldogs scoring enough points. They'll probably go up there with an axe to grind, but to me, I think the Dolphins will click into gear at some point, and they'll be able to rack up some points. And I see Dolphins winning comfortably here.
Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth. I think that this is going to be a real. This game could get really ugly for Canterbury for mine. Up there in Brisbane, if the weather's good, it'll be a fast track. And Canterbury, they're struggling. They've got no points in them. And Dolphins have got a side that when they turn it on and the points start coming, they can really rack up a score. No changes to Canterbury's lineup. Bailey Howard at 9 still. It's the exact same side, and I can't see anything but a Dolphins win, and Dolphins win well.
Yeah, a couple of big names on the bench too for the Dolphins on the extended bench in Cody Nikorima and the massive one Jeremy Marshall-King. So if they don't play this week, well, you think you lock them in for Magic round.
Yeah.
So that's when the Dolphins, you'll probably see what the Dolphins actually have to offer, I think, when Cody goes back in, and especially Jeremy Marshall-King. So, but we both look at this game and we just think Dolphins winning. I'm declaring them. I think they're morals. Morals?
Yeah,
morals.
I think so as well, yeah.
Yeah, morals. Probably might go in our podcast bet of the week, maybe.
Possibly.
We'll see. It's mine, isn't it, this week? Yeah, you
Yeah.
got dusted last week. So, all right. So, going on to the second game, it's the Roosters v the Titans at Polytech Stadium in Gosford. The Roosters very short here. Again, the Roosters, well, if form is anything to go on, which probably isn't in the NRL, but this Roosters should just win this.
Yeah, you would think so. A couple of injuries. Lindsay Collins is out. Spencer comes in to start. So this is a really important game for Spencer Leniu with the noise that's been around him.
Yeah, they're saying that they're not. Well, they've come out and said they're not renewing him. He's done.
Yeah, they came out today and said that that's not true. But
oh, have they?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that.
So a lot of noise over Spencer Leniu based on his minutes. He hasn't been generating that many minutes. So this is a massive game for him to start and really cement his origin spot, I think, because that could be up for grabs. Mark Nawaqanitawasi's out. Cody Ramsey comes in, so that's good to see. Cody Ramsey starting the game. Angus Crichton was in a brace this week, so I can't see how he's going to play, but they've named him. Either way, even with those three blokes out, I think the Roosters will have enough firepower to take care of the Gold Coast quite comfortably, I'd say.
Just on Spencer, the only way Spencer holds his spot in the New South Wales team is on what he's done before, because on form, you couldn't pick him.
No, that's why I think this game's really important for him.
If he probably needs to smash one up. Yeah. But I can't see anything but a Roosters win here, Jack. So the only way I think they could, the only thing with the Roosters over the past few years, they do have that odd game where they're this short, and you just think get in the queue, and they slip. But I just think they're a different side this year, and I think they just will take care of them pretty comfortably.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Yep. All right, let's move on now to the 8 p.m. game on the Friday. And it's the North Queensland Cowboys versus the Parramatta Eels. And again, I think we've got another moral. I don't know how the Cowboys lose here. I think it'll be a sold out up there. They're in great form, Parramatta. Are short on troops. I can't see how the Cowboys won't win this.
Yeah, I tend to agree. This is not a great matchup for Para. They're decimated with injuries. They've got to travel up to North Queensland where the Cowboys are normally pretty good. They're coming off win. Their confidence should be high. But the Cowboys can also turn it up sometimes and lack effort. That happened a couple of weeks ago. They were terrible against Manly up there when I thought they'd win. Lots of errors. So if that Cowboys team rocks up, Para every chance. But if the Cowboys of last week rock up and play the way they can play, I think they could rack up a score against Para.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same. So I don't think there's really much else to say about this game, to be honest. The Cowboys, they're injury-free, barring losing Nane. But apart from that, they're pretty sweet. So it looks like a Cowboys win. All right, let's move now on to the Saturday game, and it is down in WIN Stadium, and it is the winless Winless, that's a word. Yep, the winless St George Illawarra Dragons hosting the Newcastle Knights at Wynn. What do you make of this one, mate?
Having a look a few weeks ago, I penciled this as a possible first Dragons win. I see Gutherson's back, Dylan Egan's in the side. They're coming off the bye, so no one's been talking about them the last week. But their performance against Roosters was one of the worst performances I've seen in a long time. They were terrible. Effort areas were disgraceful, some of their efforts. And I just can't tip them. I know they're at home. I know they're playing Newcastle, who aren't a powerhouse, but I just look at Newcastle side, KP, Brown, Fletcher Sharp, Best. I just think they're going to have too many points for a Dragon side that's really struggled to score this year. I'm going to tip Newcastle.
Yeah. All right, so the Dragons fans, stay with me. I'm tipping the Dragons. I think they can cause the upset. I think the 2 weeks off Dean Young's had with them, I think Gutho coming back into the side, they're going to win at some point. I think this could be it. I think the Dragons fans will probably come out in numbers. It's been a couple of weeks since they've played, and quite a long time since they've been at Win. I think about a month or 5 weeks since Win, and I just think emotion might get them home here. And I think the Knights were up for that South game last week. There might be a little bit of a drop from them. If you line them up team for team, it's a Newcastle win every day of the week. But as you say, that doesn't work all the time. It doesn't work often, to be quite honest. So I am tipping the Dragons in a high-scoring upset down there at Win.
Fair enough.
Yes.
See
All right.
what happens.
Let's move on to the next game, and it's probably close to the game of the round. It's the South Sydney Rabbitohs hosting the Cronulla Sharks out there at Homebush. South Sydney favourite here. Probably look a little bit skinny for mine. They are without... Who's out? Someone's out. Jack Whiten broke his arm. He is out. I think they've brought... who did they bring onto the wing? I know they pushed Campbell Graham into the centres. It wasn't Graham...
Edward Cozzy.
Yeah, they brought the old Warrior winger. Yeah, Edward Cossie onto the wing. And also the big one that probably no one saw coming is Ashton Ward.
Yeah.
He's now named at 7, coming back from, I think it was a torn hamstring, and Jamie Humphries is back to the bench. I'm not going to comment too much on it. Like I've always said on this show that Jamie Humphries doesn't offer much. I'm not sure what Ashton Ward's got. So he's had a couple of good games. He's very small. But obviously Wayne has got a bit of trust in him to bring him straight back. So Ashton Ward at 7 with the Sharks. No one back for the Sharks. Still no Jesse Ramey, still no Ronaldo Mulatalo. So they're running out basically the same side as that smashed the West Tigers last week. How do you find this game, Jax? I find this an important but tricky game.
Yeah, I think this is an important game for both sides. Sharks need to start getting some wins together, and South Sydney coming off a loss last week, they'd want to get back into the winners' circle. I go back to what I saw, what I've seen from Latrell Mitchell, and I think if he decides to rock up and he's ready to go, I think that he's going to be too powerful on that left edge. I think Cronulla could get pieced apart with the new combination of Talakai and Hiroti out there. I would have really liked to see Jesse Ramian in that side. It would have given me a bit more confidence. But I'm leaning towards South. I like Ashton Ward at 7 over Humphries. I think he offers a bit more speed, a bit more creativity. And I haven't liked anything I've seen from Cronulla this year. South Sydney can score plenty of points. Sharks have really struggled defensively, and because of that, I'm going to lean towards South.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. I think the key to Cronulla is defence. If they can keep them to, say, under 20 or 20 or under, they might have enough points in them to beat them. But can they? They haven't shown defensively they're on song. I'm actually looking forward to the battle of Latrell and Siffer because Siffer is one of these blokes that's actually got probably the power to match Latrell. He hasn't got the lateral movement, which concerns me. But it'll be good if Siffer gets it and really goes at him, But yeah, you're right. With Jesse Ramey and Ronaldo, you'd be feeling a little bit more confident on that edge with them two there.
Yeah.
I'm going to tip Cronulla, but I think it's a lot of heart. I'm 50-50 on it, but I'll tip Cronulla, but it's more heart than head.
Yeah, fair enough. And the next game, we've got Manly at home at Brookie to Brisbane. I actually think this game could be game of the round as well. Manly, as we touched on, have been really impressive. Fogarty comes back into the side. Brisbane, they lose Stags to suspension, and they lost both. Well, Karapani's named, but they lost Dean Mariner. He's out, so they've got more injuries. I'm looking forward to this game. I think Manly have been really impressive since Foran's taken over, and I think that back at home, I think they'll have enough to beat Brisbane. But Brisbane are always a chance with Reece Walsh at fullback. They can beat anyone when he decides to turn it on.
Yeah, I like Manly here. I can't believe Karapani's named.
Yeah.
He went off like he was syndesmosis cooked. I just think the Katoni Stags out. Still no Adam Reynolds. Still no Payne Haas. Still no Corey Jensen. Not sure. Have you got the team list there? Brendan P. Curie, is he back?
He is not back.
He is not back. So there's 5 or 6 of their 13 gone. I think Manly are performing consistently every week. They're back at Brookie. It'll be sold out again. Saturday night at Brookie, I think Manly win. And I actually think, when the markets went up here, I actually thought, oh, Manly are a good price here. They've actually blown from what I thought. So there's some confidence around Brisbane. But to me, it's a Manly win. I can't see anything but a Manly win here.
Yeah, I'm tipping Manly as well.
Yep. All right, let's move now down to Melbourne. Now, this game here, Melbourne take on the West Tigers. Well, it's as simple as this. If Melbourne don't win this, I don't know. I don't know what happens to them, to be honest. The West Tigers are running down there with 3/4 of a second grade side. So to me, they get a couple of big ins. I'm pretty sure Xavier Coates is back. I'm pretty sure Jerome Hughes is back. And it's a much better looking side, even just popping them two in the side. So to me...
Xavier Coates isn't back.
Isn't he back?
No.
He must be next week, is he? Jerome back?
Jerome Hughes is back.
Xavier's not on the extended?
No.
No, okay. All right, so Jerome's back, and to me, they just win. I just can't see this side, this second grade side of West Tigers beating them.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I think this is a game that Melbourne just have to win. Tigers are decimated with injuries, but I'm looking at their side now, and there's still some really good players in that side, led by Luai, the May brothers, Kai Piss-Paul. As I touched on earlier, this is where Jerome. Jerome gets paid the big bucks. It's for games like this when you're down on troops, you're the $1 million man, you're the Origin Premiership winner. You need to lead from the front and really stand up. I'm giving Tigers a chance, but I still think Melbourne, they just have to win this game. They've looking at 8 straight losses. They come at home, understrength Tigers. Melbourne have to win. If they don't, they're a chance for the wooden spoon.
Okay, so we're both tipping Melbourne?
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to the last game. I'll let you handle that.
Yeah, right. So this game is actually a game of the round. I know we've used that term a few times, but
the last 3 games?
Yeah. Canberra at home to the Penrith Panthers. This is the game I'm looking forward to the most. I think that Ricky Stewart will have Canberra right up for this game. Penrith have come back to the field the last few weeks and had a few close wins. So I think at home, Canberra, this could be an ambush type game, and I'm leaning towards tipping Canberra. Hudson Young comes back. And those forwards, I think that they'll come out 100 miles an hour. Tarpanay, Horsburgh, they'll really try and rough Penrith up, I think. And I think that this game is right for the taking for a Canberra win.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I'm not tipping them, but I agree. I think this is a game where if Canberra win this game, it's not going to surprise me. And I think this is a Ricky Stewart game for sure as well.
And a win here could really catapult Canberra's season.
Yeah, well, they need something, don't they? I am tipping Penrith. I think Penrith can get it done, but I think it's going to be real close, and I think it's going to be low scoring. I think this will be defensive mindset, and I'm with you. Canberra will be up. Won't surprise me if Canberra jump out to a lead, but I just struggle to. When I looked at it, I wanted to tip Canberra, and I thought, well, to me, if it's a low scoring game, which I think it will be, I want to be on Penrith, and that's how I feel on Penrith. So I am tipping Penrith, but I give Canberra a dead set, red hot chance of winning this game.
Yeah, I'm tipping Canberra off the back of their forward pack, coming out and really ambushing Penrith.
Yep. All right. Okay, so that's it for the review of round 9 and the preview of round 10. Couple of things. One thing I want to talk about, Jax, before we close up is big news, guys. Next week, dropping Tuesday afternoon, we have on the couch Sharks Premiership winning halfback SEN superstar, podcast, what do you call it? Content creator. What else does he do? Every time I turn the
Coaching, SG Ball.
SG Ball coach, Yarrawarra Tigers A grade halfback. Every time I turn the TV on, there is his face. We have the great Chad Townsend on the show with us. We're going to be talking all things Sharks, Cowboys, Warriors, probably Roosters for 1 year for this bloke over here. We're going to talk about his junior footy. We're going to talk about what he does these days, everything we can think of. If you have any questions for Chad, you can definitely drop them in the YouTube comment box or DM us them or wherever you want to put them. But huge news, Chad Townsend, he's usually asking the questions on these. He doesn't really get...
Yeah, that's right.
He doesn't get grilled, but
yeah, right.
us boys will... Well, I can't wait, obviously, being a Sharks fan, to get at him. But yeah, guys, so make sure you tune in. Tell everyone you know. Chad Townsend on the show next week. What have you got for us, Jax? Anything else?
No, not really. I think that's it.
You sure?
Yeah. Do
Okay.
we have any questions? Fan questions?
Oh, there was Pete Beeman appeared. I think YouTube, didn't he? Let's try and get to that if we can.
Yeah, I've got it up now.
You've got it up now. I can't quite remember what. I think it's the 6 again thing. I think something about that. I think Pete was talking about.
Yeah, he's referencing. I think it was Kalen Ponga's shot on. Might have been Cam Murray, and the referee said you need to reduce your force. And Pete Beeman's saying that he's been watching footy since the 70s, and he's never heard that termed by a referee. And he also doesn't like the 6 agains. He thinks that the 6 agains are out of control. He likes that it's taken the wrestling and the crusher tackles out of the game, but he doesn't like the constant 6 agains.
Yeah.
Did you see the Kalen Ponga?
Yeah.
Yeah, he said reduce your force.
I know. I don't know what to say about it.
We could be going down the route where in 50 years' time we won't have rugby league or rugby union or AFL. That's possibly where we're going to end up.
If that's the case though, we're not going to have boxing. We're not going to have UFC. There won't be many sports left.
Well, yeah, it depends how where they go. But telling blokes now already reduce your force.
So basically, they're telling him to don't tackle too hard.
Yeah, that's exactly what that is saying. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
If you hit between the shoulders and the and above the knee,
yep,
fair game. You hit him as hard as you want.
Absolutely.
As long as long as you don't hit him without the ball, fair play.
Yep, agreed. So yeah, and the 6 agains. Look, we've said it till we're blue in the face. I was one that when it started, I didn't mind it. But I'm at the point now is chuck them in the bin. I've had a gutful of them. Go back to the penalty, the blatant things, penalise anything else. Let it go.
Yeah. The problem is you don't know what they're for. You know, you could pick up 5 different 6 agains. You know, you're like, well, what's the difference? And the problem is the fans don't know what they're getting done for. So it feels like the refs just controlling them to give teams momentum or give them field position, which is shit. I think they're here to stay, but unfortunately, I'd like to see it go back to last year where if you were in your 40, you got the penalty. You didn't get the 6 again.
Yeah, I'm happy for it scrapped.
Yeah, I just don't think it is.
I tell you one rule that they brought in that I'm loving, and we loved it at the start, is the no 7 tackle set for a knock on in goal. Isn't it good?
Yeah.
Like blokes are trying to score and they might just touch it with their hand where it'd usually be 7, it's only 6.
Yeah.
I think it's great.
Yeah, I like that in the 6-man bench.
You like the 6-man bench because you weren't sold on the 6-man bench.
I like that it's giving blokes opportunities that may normally not play, get a chance to play.
Yep. All right, very good. All right, so do you want to just touch on the socials very quickly for us, Jax, before we close?
Yeah. So jump on the YouTube, give us a like and subscribe. Instagram, TikTok, jump on there. League 365, help the boys out. Share the content around, leave comments, and yeah, that's it, really.
Yeah, make sure you leave any questions, guys. We'll touch on all the... What's that?
For Chad.
For Chad, definitely for Chad, but also for us, guys, if you've got any questions. Thanks again to Ollie and Raph and his family that were out there the other day. We had a ball with you guys. That is it. We will see you next week for episode 26 with the great Chad Townsend. Thanks, guys.
See you guys.